Confidence is cumulative. I think that radio has had to be a bit sharper and a bit smoother and had to kind of think on its feet. Closest direct link to the talent. They have the talent's numbers. They have them on speed dial. Talent adjacent, right? So we work alongside the talent. We work alongside the musicians. I'm not trying to last week I was at the Bob Marley One Love premiere. I was asked to cover the red carpet there with my mentors, and it was like, do you have 10 years to give to this?
Rolling, we're live, yeah? We're live in the building. First of all, big up JV8 Studios. Yeah, we're streaming it live. You know, if you got any questions for Başak, yeah?
What's up?
Thank you for coming through. Thanks for featuring on the show. If you guys got any questions for Başak, make sure you drop them in the comments. We'll talk about them right here, right now. So, in the meantime, we'll kick off the show. First of all, how are you? How you doing?
I'm good. I've had a really wholesome Sunday.
Nice. Anything special?
Gym and a puppy.
It's got to be done. Gym and a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, you have.
I don't have a puppy, but I saw my friend's one. And
okay, nice. I usually start with how did you get the name?
Yeah.
Başak, but I usually start with how do you get the name, but you know, I'm guessing Başak is your real name.
Başak is my real name.
Okay, where's the name from?
I'm originally from Turkey.
Okay.
And it means Virgo in Turkish.
Oh, nice,
So
interesting.
Family history for you there.
Nice, there we go, nice. And so tell them a little bit about what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I wear a few hats. Predominantly, I'm a radio presenter. I'm also a radio producer for the BBC and a podcast producer for Sony Music, as well as a few other indie companies, bringing some podcast shows to life, but a lot of audio stuff. I'm also, as of the last few weeks, dabbling into some brand strategy, which has been interesting. But we can get into that in a little bit.
Nice. So you're doing a lot right now. I can see.
Little too much.
Busy.
Yes.
I like to see that. So tell me about radio producing. What does that entail?
Absolutely.
And podcast producing.
So I predominantly work across Radio 1, Radio 2, 1 Extra, and BBC Radio London. And when you think of radio production, it's basically anything and everything to help bring a live show to life. So it could be from guest ideation, so deciding who we want to have on various shows, to guest bookings, to script, to content, to the actual live show management, fielding calls. So at the BBC, because it's a national platform, you get a lot of public people tuning in and calling and being like, well, that's not quite right, and having to kind of manage a lot of live listeners. I've worked with everyone from Trevor Nelson to Fern Cotton to just, you know, all of these amazing...
Fern Cotton's old school. I remember I used to watch her like way
Top of
back
the Pops.
Yeah, top of the pops. Yeah, classic.
And she is phenomenal.
How is she to work with?
Incredible. Exactly what you think she would be. It's great. Super down to earth, really, really easy. I'm lucky, man. I get to do what they do and I get to watch what they do at the highest possible level. It's a masterclass.
Nice, amazing. What's one challenge of your job?
Yeah. How cyclical it is. I always say that. It never really ends, because especially when you're doing live radio, you know, for example, let's take Fern's show as an example. She does Sound of the 90s, which is a 90s show every Saturday night. Now that's every week for time continuum. I've been working on it for 3 years.
Wow.
It's the same structure, it's the same features, it's the same script, and we just plug in different music, as it were. So it can get a bit uninspiring at times, because you're not necessarily allowed to go outside of the lines when it comes to BBC talent stuff.
Okay, yeah, they got strict
guidelines. You're not
guidelines.
doing pirate radio here, so they've got very strict guidelines. There are some artists you cannot play, like an R. Kelly or
what about
whoever
if you?
got him out of there. Obviously, no swear words. So every song, no matter and this is a good tip for you guys, if you are musicians, every song that's ever played is listened to throughout the week by exec producers before they go live. So every package across all BBC shows, someone's already listened to it. Right, and they have to check for swear words.
I was gonna say, yeah. So what would class like songs for it to be put on the radio? What would the executive producers have to hear in that song for them to be like, this needs to go on the radio?
Yeah. So it depends a little bit on network. So Radio 2 is more strict, Radio 1's more strict. 1 Extra, you can get away with a lot.
Really? Yeah, like in terms of like content.
Language.
Okay.
Think of Snoochie Shy.
Yeah.
Think of all the she gets
she
up
jokes,
to.
yeah.
Like, it's real. So they're a little more relaxed in terms of what they allow musically. But no matter what, like if you are a DJ or a musician listening in, like send in clean tracks because somebody has to really care about your music to care to clean it. And most of the time, they're busy trying to build the show. So make it as easy as possible for them. I'm sure you've had this before, but clean tracks.
Send in
are
the
a
clean
must.
tracks, yeah. Nice. And in general,
Yes.
so generally, how does an artist go about getting their songs on the radio? Is it just sending them in and hope for the best, or like, where's that mind? Because I know a lot
this
of
is a big tip, and it's a bit of a secret of mine. But find the producers, find the versions of me that do these shows.
Okay.
Because we decide what music gets played. You know, unless it's a special show. You know, like Ace, like no one touches Ace's playlist. You could make suggestions, of course, or Giles Peterson. But most of the time, for kind of the standard shows that are every single week, find the producers and hound them.
Yeah.
And make them believe in your craft and find their names. Guess what? They're on LinkedIn. Like, it's not hard to find some of these guys because they are the closest direct link to the talent. They have the talent's numbers. They have them on speed dial.
Very true.
They build relationships with them. And every single week, they need new music. So you're actually helping them do their job to the best of their ability.
Nice.
If your stuff is good. If
Yes.
your stuff isn't good, come
Then
back next
work
year.
on that craft
Come back next
and
year.
keep going.
Come
Yeah.
back next year. Yeah.
And so that leads me to another question now.
Sure.
With, you know, the rise in streaming platforms and so on, how has that impacted radio?
I think that radio has had to be a bit sharper and a bit smoother and have to kind of think on its feet. The features have to be a bit more edgy because people aren't listening to radio like they used to. That's just a fact. But radio does still hold a place in the British public imagination, I would say, in the background of your life. So while you're doing your work, while you're tending to the kids, a lot of people do still highly favour radio, but they maybe not actively listening to the level they used to.
Nice. And what's one thing you enjoy about your work as well?
I mean, I love all of it. I love live. I love
Yeah.
live environments. I chase the thrill.
Yes.
I love being in front of the mic as well as behind it. There's something really special about creating content that exists for this moment only. Just like right now, we are live.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
this is
Big
this
up.
is it.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is this, and you're never gonna get this moment again. I think there's something
100%.
very unique and special about that I live for.
Nice.
Yeah.
And tell me about the social.
The social.
The
What would
social.
you like to know?
How did you get started doing that?
Yeah.
Doing your own podcast?
Yeah. I produced for a lot of guys for a lot of years. So I did Represent Radio.
Big up Represent, yeah.
Because they are incredible. And actually, they're going through some trouble right now. They need a lot of funding. So if you're able to help, please do help. And they are an amazing resource for so many young people. I started out doing production for Galdem. I don't know if you know them. Because they had a
I
rep
think-
show.
Yeah.
They're like a female literary magazine.
Okay.
And then I did Faraji and Cash for years. Big up them. They actually are now on One Extra, which is really, really exciting.
Big up, man. Elevation.
Yes, it
Yeah.
goes to show like that progression does
That's it.
exist. And then I did their show for years and years. And then I realized that actually I really wanted my own thing. There were ways in which there were things that I could bring to the table with my unique perspective being a woman in this industry that I felt like I didn't hear anywhere else. And I didn't have a lot of mentors in the industry coming up, or even presenters that I was that impressed with. Nobody was that good. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to talk this much
Yeah.
shit,
Might as well get your
let
own
me
platform.
go and
Yeah.
see what I could do myself. That's what kind of launched it.
Nice. And so you've launched your podcast, but
Yeah.
what advice would you give to someone starting out their own podcast?
I think everything that kind of we connected, and I was so impressed with you guys because you were outside Coco
Yes.
with
big up.
a camera phone
Yeah.
and a microphone. And I had
Microphone.
never seen that before because everybody talks and nobody actually does anything. Create the content.
That's it. Just
Create.
get out
That's
there
it.
and
That's
do
the
it.
advice.
Yeah.
It's not any more interesting than that. I begged my uncle to give me access to his hairdressing shop on the King's Road.
Wow. Yeah.
So I could use it on, like after hours to do interviews because I just knew I wanted to do this thing. So I zigged and zagged and used every resource available. You don't need a huge budget. You just need to start.
Needs to start. Yeah. And it starts from within, having that motivation, having that, that
And
drive.
Confidence. though.
Confidence.
Like,
Yeah.
confidence. Like, how do you know that you're gonna be good at this thing? You don't know that.
Well, if someone's, well, what if someone doesn't have that confidence? How do they build up to get to that point where they want to be comfortable and confident in front of the camera?
Interesting you say it. A friend of mine asked me this question yesterday.
Yeah.
And the answer I gave him is the answer I give you, which
Go.
is confidence is cumulative, right? So you will become more confident the more you see yourself doing something. Let's take like gardening, for example.
Yeah.
I've never gardened a day in my life, but I know that if I start and I keep going at it, I will naturally become more used to the soil, fertilization, learn the leaves, learn the plants, understand this world more and more and more, and my confidence will grow. So you have to be patient with yourself, and then also just fake it till you make it. Just channel the version of yourself.
Yeah.
So like, what is the most confident version of Josh? What does he do? What does he look like? How does he walk?
Oh,
Even
okay,
if
yeah.
he's not
So
here today in the room.
imagine yourself doing that basically.
And then be that person.
And be it, yeah. So visualization.
Visualization as well as actualization. So doing the thing and then channeling the version of yourself.
Nice. And so I see you interviewed Black as well.
Yes.
Like, how was that interview? Because, you know, he's a big artist. He's
Yeah.
doing his thing. How did that come about? And how did you find doing that interview?
So as with all the kind of big stars that I've done, we were given 20 hours of notice.
Wow.
So we found out the day before that I was given access to him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you shoot your shot. And
Of course.
You're in connections and you're in conversations with all the radio pluggers, but they don't tell you in a timely fashion at all.
They're just telling you like, day before.
They're like, here, come to £5 Chris Square.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have to rally up the troops. I have to get my producer together, videographer together, write the questions, do the research. I'm already a fan, so that's what's so beautiful, and I'm a fan of his music. But you still want to leave an impact because he's doing a press day. So what that means is he's doing press from 8 to 6 with multiple outlets. And you want to be the one that gets the best out of him.
Of course.
Which means unique phrasing, unique questioning. So I really focused on that, and my prep was heavy. And then that's what you can do, right? And then you walk into the room, and it's not just you and Black, it's you, Black,
And
the
his
talent
all
manager.
all his associates.
Universal.
Yeah.
There's about 16 other people in the room staring at you. So you have to be built for this pressure. And again, that doesn't come on day one. So it's an interesting thing to go through.
Nice. So whose personality maybe has surprised you the most that you've interviewed?
I've had negative experiences that have been surprising.
Really? And who? Who's?
I can't
who
tell
could
you
you
names.
say?
I won't give
Okay.
names.
Who's
but
surprised you in a good way then?
anyone that I thought was going to be positively who they were has been that. So anyone that I'm really impressed with and really I'm a fan of has never let me down. There have been people that I don't know much about who have been disappointing. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah.
People that I'm not fans of that I've come across that have just been not present. They don't want to be there. They don't want to do a press run.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make for a good interview.
It's like you're trying to get blood from a stone, basically.
100%. And then also that's a shame because ultimately what we do, and I'm going to add you to this, is it's a mutually beneficial interaction,
it's
right?
true.
I'm sitting here in front of a mic, but it's to make your music reach a wider audience.
That's it.
And oftentimes they don't respect your platform to the level because it's maybe not a BBC at the moment, or whatever it is. So that's the tension, but that's okay. You take the hits where they come.
It's still building at the end of the day as well.
And you don't forget it. There's a few names that are on my blacklist.
They're never coming back to the show.
I mean, I'll see them out at a party. It's not too far away from my real life. So I'm like, that's how you moved to me because I wasn't relevant enough for you.
Wow. Okay. So it's be careful who you treat because you never know.
Well, that's it. Just don't be a dick. It's not that expensive.
Thank you. Yeah. It's free.
It's free.
It's free. Don't do it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nice. Tell me about the other aspect of what you do. Is it brand strategist?
Yes.
Brand management?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you get started in brand management? And is it brand management? Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Brand management.
Brand management, kind of talent management. I work with so many incredible talent for all the shows that I do. So I do a lot of kind of podcast shows as well.
Yeah.
And part of the podcast shows have a lot of guests come on as well. And so I realize there's a bit of a void in the market for the creators and the talent that you really love to be on board. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
unfortunately, in more white corporate spaces, the most inspired black creators they can think about is a Chunks and a Philly. Right?
Oh, okay.
That's
yeah,
all they
yeah,
really care
yeah.
to promote.
Mm.
But there's so many other incredible, talented
Definitely.
people. So I am now working with various kind of corporates and industries to bridge that gap and to kind of bring more interesting talent to the surface and get paid doing it.
Nice. And what challenges does that bring, if any?
You get aired a lot because I haven't yet built credibility in this space, right? I'm borrowing credibility from everything else that I've done, but I'm not a brand strategist yet in that sense of the word. It's something that I'm building, but I think it's going to be the future, 1,000%. So I'm really excited for this new avenue, and it's one that I really want to see grow.
The brand management. You obviously talked about the challenges that it brings. Is the lack of response from certain people that might not see you as being up there yet. But how do you go about building that reputation then? Is there is it just like consistency, or is there certain methods that you have to take?
I have a lot of secret methods. I can reach everybody under the sun. So that helps. So I have good tools.
Yes.
Number one. Like I have good tools to reach people. But that doesn't guarantee a response. You have to be very relentless in this industry. You can't care about a rejection or a no response. It's none of it's personal. You just have to keep working harder, and you have to get in front of the people. I have gone to events just to speak to a person because I know they're going to be there, because I need to zig and zag in certain ways. So it's about being strategic and being consistent and not taking any of it personally, because I'm so excited for this new avenue, and I can't let one non-reply or one rejection bring me down. If I did that, then I wouldn't have got to where I was with the radio production stuff.
That's it.
I didn't have credibility there, and now I'm using that as my base for like, oh look, I can create something. I can prove that I can create something. I haven't yet created something in this arena, but I will do soon.
Nice. And how do you actually stay motivated then to keep, when you do face certain rejections, you know, like how do you bounce back?
Yeah. It's tough. Like I won't lie. There are some interviews that I still feel like I should have got.
Yeah.
You know,
is it? But then I mean, because you haven't got it, you might get it. You might still get it in the future.
I just really still want that, and I want to be bigger and better, and also I'm excited for this industry, and I'm excited for the direction we're going in. I think the content is really exciting. The talent is exciting. We live and breathe a glamorous world on some level, so it's not that difficult to stay motivated. I get to sit in front of some of my favorite people in the world and have access to them on a level that most people don't. So I'm grateful for it, and I'll take, I guess, some of the hits wherever they come.
And you personally, like, who do you, music-wise, who do you listen to?
So at the moment,
who's your favorite artist right now?
I'm really into Mustafa the Poet. I don't know if you know him. He's a Canadian guy.
I'll check him out though.
He's a Canadian guy, and he's just so lyrical.
Mustafa the Poet.
Yes.
All right. Cool. We got him.
He is really, really hot. Really into him. Really enjoying his music. I'm more.
Where did you say he was from?
Canada.
Canada.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm more R&B and kind of slow jams type of chick, so I like kind of slower music. And then I listen to a lot of old stuff. I'm really nostalgic with my music choices. I don't really do a lot of music discovery.
Nowadays,
if I love you, I will love you, and I'll listen to the same song 100 times. I'm very boring.
Have it on repeat.
Yeah,
and again.
Literally, I was listening to Fantasia when I see you on the way here. I was like,
oh, classic. That's a classic,
we need to move on.
Yo, she needs a... Wait, has she done an interview with you yet? Are you going to?
No, but maybe, she should be next on the list.
Yeah, she might see this interview. You never know. You never know.
Yes,
you never know.
I love it.
So is there any artist that you'd say is up and coming maybe right now? You know, you said you check out the your, you know, kind of like nostalgic, but is there anyone current that you're looking at like, yo, this person might be next up, you know?
I mean, I've got a lot of talented friends. I've got to shout out one guy who's been on the journey for years and years and years. Broken Pen, he is an incredible rapper, and he was on The Voice UK.
Oh, okay,
he's a
nice.
finalist. Like, he's done incredible things. He's just so talented. I'm waiting for him to blow, because I just feel like he deserves that. Also, just recognition. I think as a musician, you work so hard for people to hear your sound. I don't have that kind of pressure on me. I'm what I call talent adjacent, right? So we work alongside the talent. We work alongside the musicians. I'm not trying to get someone to listen to my music. So I have a lot less
pressure.
Yeah. Demands.
That still brings its own, but still bringing its own challenges in its own right.
But my success isn't deemed unsuccessful if people don't listen to my music. It's harder nowadays.
How would you measure your success in your field?
Leveling up my talent. That's how I measure it these days.
So just getting like higher and higher,
and
more well-known celebrities.
Yeah. Like last week, I was at the Bob Marley One Love premiere. I was asked to cover the red carpet there, and
yes, I saw that. I was gonna get into that as well. But yeah, let's go there. How was that?
And that was my first red carpet, and that was like adrenaline rush of a lifetime, Josh.
Yeah.
We were outside for 3 hours in the blistering cold. I'm surprised I didn't get pneumonia.
But it was worth it though.
Absolutely, but like it was like this weird force field over me because it was so cold. But the adrenaline, like you don't even
just
feel
kept
it.
you going. Yeah. The excitement was there.
Who's next?
Nice.
It just walked past.
Wow. Did you manage to get a lot of interviews from there?
I got a really funny one with Big Nasty. I'll tell you that.
Oh man, he's a character, man. Yeah.
It's coming this week. We're just editing it as we speak, and he was singing Bob Marley songs to me. He was serenading me with some sort of Bob Marley track.
Hey, Big Nasty's a legend, man. Still, Big Nasty's a legend.
Very funny. And then I was able to also interview Ronaldo Marcus Green, who is the director of Bob Marley One Love. So it was special, and got a few other ones as well. I did get a few rejections in that moment as well. A few actors weren't so polite.
Oh, is it?
To my face. So again, like I just want to say that to be very transparent. It is, you have to be resilient.
That's the key right there. Yeah. I think that's the tone for this episode.
Yes,
resilience, right?
Resilience.
Yes. So what's next? What's next for you? Like, what's your goals? Long term.
I think
where do you see everything going?
Doing less, actually. Doing less.
Doing less. I thought you'd have been like, we gotta run it up. 2024.
Doing less, but with more impact.
Right.
That's
working
the key.
smart.
Working smarter than I even have been. So it means like I now only do interviews. So I did DJ Samtex 2 weeks ago, and he was my first interview in January of the year.
Yeah.
When I first started out doing the social, we did an interview every single week. So for 52 weeks straight, I interviewed
every week.
And like multiple times a week. I was just so hungry. I'm now a little bit more cool. I'm a bit more picky and choosy. I have the luxury of choice to be able to maybe not do as many and speak to people that are really interesting to me. So that's fun. That's a nice place to be at now. So doing less but with more impact.
Nice.
Is now my key.
I love that. So any last closing final pieces of advice or statements you want to give out to the young viewers listening, the young listeners? Maybe they want to get into your field or they want to break into the music industry. What would you say to them?
Well, I'll share what was shared to me when I first kind of approached my mentors, and it was like, do you have 10 years to give to this? That's what someone asked me. And it was powerful, and I was 20 years old. I was like, of course I do. I'm 20.
Yeah.
I'm now 29, right? I've been doing this for a long time. I don't look 29, but I am. It's painful.
Yeah,
and so
28.
There you go.
There you go.
And so I'd like to say that the road is long and winding, but it is definitely
rewarding.
Worth it.
Rewarding. Nice. So guys, stay consistent.
Yes.
Like we said, resilience. That's the key for this episode. I like that.
Yes.
We'll stick with that, man. So this has been Creative Insight TV. Başak, thank you again.
Thank you so much
for
having me.
Thank you for featuring on the show. Tell them where they can find the social, where they can find you and everything you do.
Absolutely. So our Instagram for the social is The Social Show, The Social SHW. And then my personal Instagram is BashLDN, Bash London. Get in touch.
Amazing. Fantastic. All right, cool. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Again, we've been filming for 25 minutes. So if you ain't subscribed by now, then I don't know what's going on. Don't know. I don't understand. But get locked in, drop a comment, make sure you put the notifications on, share it with a friend as well. Share the knowledge. This is Creative Insight TV and we're out.